It is.
Out with Watchdog
It
again.
is.
Just got
Peter said he just scored 20.
got Sky News over here.
It is after 11.
We're out past curfew.
But I wanted to say to all of you, this day and this night will be remembered by many people. And they will be talking about the 12 jurors in the community that for the first time in a very long time, first time perhaps in many places in this country, where justice was served inside of a courthouse.
Say it! Let's go!
And we will be mentioned that in a small flyover state of Minnesota,
Say it. Let's
the worst form of police brutality happened. And it moved the world, it moved our state, but it moved the world too. And we all, in our deepest spaces, were hoping for this day to come, and it did come. But we're not satisfied. We're not satisfied until all 4 officers are charged and convicted and sentenced. And we are gathered right here, right now, because 20-year-old Dante Wright was killed in Brooklyn Center while the world was watching the trial of Derek Chauvin. And I know many of you saw the video today. You saw the look of Derek Chauvin's face. He was shocked because his white privilege did not protect him at all. And not only that, but also he was so shocked because in this country, I think I heard a statistic that maybe 7 out of thousands, 15,000. Think about this, 15,000 killings since 2015. Only 7 police officers have been found guilty. What does that tell you about our justice system? It's evil and it does not work. But to see his face look like he couldn't believe it, well, he better believe it now. And you know what? He still didn't believe it until they put the cuffs on him. He probably didn't see that coming. He thought he was going to go home. He thought he was going to go home and wait for that the sentencing. But guess what? That sentencing was denied. He turned around, they put the cuffs on him, and they walked him in. And there's a community that he doesn't want to belong to that he's going to, by the way. And they're going to recognize him, and they know him. Because that community is the community that he has been abusing for a very long time. How many black men in this country have been wrongfully incarcerated? How many black men have been wrongfully incarcerated? How many black men in this country today are incarcerated for taking some batteries for their family, food for their family? How many black men in this country are incarcerated because they look like some suspect? How many black men in this country today are in prison for 35 years for thought, for thinking about something? Oh, for thinking about something. How many black men in this country? How many black men in this country today, even in those prisons right now, are celebrating a little bit of joy? Because one of the officers, yes, today, many of those black men in prison are celebrating, they're celebrating that Derek Chauvin is no longer not only a police officer, but he's guilty as hell.
Yeah!
And so, guilty. Man, that was sweet. That was sweet to hear that. It's sweet to hear that. And you know what? We're not satisfied, y'all.
Hell no.
We're not satisfied because of look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. We're not satisfied because Dante Wright's killer has yet to be charged for what she did was murder.
That's right.
She murdered Dante Wright.
That's right.
If a black man can make an accident and we call it murder, then a white woman who makes an accident is also a murder.
That's
That
right.
ain't
That's
no
right.
accident.
It was no accident. We know
That's
that.
right.
It was no accident. The moment she saw that he was black, he was already dead.
Yeah.
The moment that she saw he was black, he was already dead. And think about the most hurtful irony that George Floyd cried for his mother, and Dante Wright had his last word with his mom.
Yes. So sad.
What does that tell you? Dante Wright knew something was happening, and the only person he found solace in was the voice of his mother. And this tells you that there is something that is coming right now. I don't know what it is, but something is coming because I think we're making a corner. We're turning a corner.
Yes.
It may not be a very wide corner, but we're making an edge to a very long road of injustice in this country. You know, people all over the world today are celebrating guilty, guilty, guilty. And we all should be celebrating guilty, guilty, guilty. But we want more guilty. We just got our appetizer. We want more guilty. We want guilty to the system that continues to kill black and brown and indigenous people across this country. We need justice. If we got justice inside the courthouse, we want justice outside the courthouse. Because there are too many people hurt. And the same police departments that killed George Floyd, that killed Dante Wright, that killed Adam Toledo, will kill again. I just heard that there was another killing today. I can't.
Micaiah Bryant,
Micaiah
out of
Bryant.
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio.
15 years old.
15 years old. They couldn't wait. They couldn't even wait the verdict to come out.
Micaiah Bryant.
Micaiah Bryant.
Say her name.
Say her name.
Micaiah Bryant.
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 The last thing I want to tell you, or one of the last things I want to tell you is, for many of you today, it's important that we not only stay in these streets, but it's even more important to continue to make this commitment toward justice.
Thank you. We need to continue to make this, thank you, Peter. We need to continue to make that commitment toward justice. There's a lot of people who showed up since Sunday here. There's a lot of people who continue to show up in these spaces, but their heart is not in this fight. We need people that their heart is in this fight. And I'm going to tell you how you can have your heart in this fight. The way you have a heart in this fight is you fight for these families. These families, they always come out and they pour their heart out, talking about how they lost their loved ones. And we need to think about that. We need to empathize with them and be boots on the ground for these families. This has to end. And we need to not be satisfied in small victories like we see today. We need to demand a full systematic change and overhaul. Until we get that, we will always be chasing a hashtag. We will always be demanding a prosecutor to bring charges. We need this thing to end. We need the solutions that are going to prevent the next Dante Wrights. And we can do that. Because I'm going to tell you something. If Dante Wright was a young, white, affluent girl, she would not have been shot, neither stopped nor killed. The taser would have never come out. She would have been seen as a human being. But Dante Wright was not seen as a human being by this killer cop. I'm telling you that. And that's the truth. And if people don't think that that's the truth, wake up. Wake up. George Floyd was killed in 9 minutes and 29 seconds by a man who put his entire body so that George Floyd could not breathe. His entire body. So tonight will be a night in history. It will be a night that many people will think about and remember. And if you have been boots on the ground, you should recognize that you have done something. Because this victory did not come inside that courthouse. This victory came because we were boots on the ground. People here in Minneapolis, people in St. Paul, all over the state, people all over this country came out. The whole world came out for George Floyd. The whole world came out for George Floyd. And that people that continue to put pressure here on the ground in Minneapolis are the people who should recognize that that victory belongs to you. You delivered that victory. And I was glad to see George Floyd's family today smiling for the first time. To see a little bit of breathe. Yeah, they can breathe and have a little bit of relief. But I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, in this moment right now, it's about us. If we are committed, if we are united, if we are focused, let's keep our focus here because they're trying to distract us. If we are committed, if we are united, if we are focused, we will overcome this system and those who support, those who have been standing next to it. And many people today, by the way, did not come out into the streets. Many people did not come out for George Floyd. Many people watched it just like they're watching right now at home. Many people have been seeing this. And what I remind those people is what Dr. King told us. In the end, we will not remember the silence of Donald Trump and police, killer cops, and those who supported them. No, we will remember the silence of those who say or claim or think they're on our side. Because if you have not used your money, your resources, your mouth, your organization, your faith community, if you did not use your network, if you did not use your abilities for this movement, you can't claim it, first of all. And if you did not do that, you are part of the oppressor. You are supporting the oppressor. Your silence is violence. So this moment, if you woke up just because of the verdict, or if you felt a little bit of anxiety today when you heard the verdict is coming out, and you are worried and worried and worried, I'm going to tell you, welcome to living like a black person in America. Welcome to living like a black person in America. I'm not going to say the business name, but I called the business today that was closing up, and the woman that I was talking to was literally about to cry because she's like, I had to close this thing. We're closing down. And I felt really bad because I was like, how are you so worried? I'm the one who should be worried. I'm a black man in America. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? But the reality is there's a lot of people in this country, a lot of wealthy people, by the way, who are afraid today. But the reality is we got a little bit of justice, but I'm not satisfied. We should all not to be satisfied. But tonight we celebrate. Tomorrow we go to work. And we must demand justice by any means necessary, including being out here right now and for this stupid curfew.
Says nine. 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 Dante Jr., we love you. Community love you. You understand these families. He had a little sister. We love you. He had an older brother. We love you. Katie, we love you. Aubrey, we love you. You understand how hard this is for these families? Just imagine. Put yourself in their shoes. It was an accident, but put yourself in their shoes.
It wasn't an accident. It was not an accident. No, don't accept that.
Now, we know.
That's a false narrative.
We know
That's
this
a
was
false-
not no accident.
Thank you.
We know this was not no accident.
Thank you, Todd. Come on.
We know this was not a coincidence.
That's right.
There's no way you can confuse something that weighs 22 ounces to something that weighs 8 to 9 ounces.
That's right.
A dominant versus non-dominant.
Thank you.
She was trained.
Thank you.
She was all the way up, 26 years on duty. And y'all steady trying to play these fear tactics on us. We not going. We love our communities. We love our brothers and sisters.
That's right.
We love one another. So when you kill one, we gonna come out here and we gonna stand. And this is a common ground, no matter who you are, no matter what color you is. Everybody sees the adversity set against African Americans in this country. We tired. We tired. We burnt out. We exhausted. Y'all expect every activist to just do this off the strength of their heart.
Yo, you got beautiful words, bro. Keep going.
We gonna keep doing that just for these families.
Yeah.
We don't owe these families nothing. We gonna keep going for hard for these families. There's people that was held all weekend. 136 people held all weekend. Let's talk about them. Let's uplift them. Understand how much trauma that would be? I know a couple of people got their ribs hurt when they got tackled that nobody's talking about. We need to highlight these victims as well. They out here taking L's on us. And literally, like, that's why half of them not here. They're afraid. They got chased. They got cornered. They got kicked in their stuff. Rubber bullets on sight. First night they came up running, spraying. And we eating all them bullets just to say stop killing us.
That's it. That ain't much to ask for.
We never afraid. We need justice for Dante Wright. That was not the due process. She's guilty. We need to speed this up. It shouldn't take no year in public humility to put the family in front of the TV and tell them they can't come into the courts because COVID-19, even though they all vaccinated, to make the whole world see this. It shouldn't have to come to this. It shouldn't have had came to this. We, as a community, demand more. The youth are struggling more than me. I'm hot. I'm mad. We need to convert this energy into something. The youth did a walkout. The youth is hurt. They have no space. We need a youth mental health and wellness center. I don't care who builds it. These youth need it. We have to continue to uplift one another. I love everybody who keeps coming out here and riding. I love the fact that he's kept his truck right here. He said, wait, skip curfew, let's go then. And he was with it. It takes us to have the spirit to encourage, to stand against these oppressors. The National Guard, go home. National Guard, go home. National Guard, go home. National Guard, go home. National Guard. We out here, y'all. I love the community. Everybody speak to them.
Y'all need to wipe the mic off.
Who streets? Our streets. Who streets? Our streets. Who streets? Our streets.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God, man. George Floyd and his whole entire family, the community, the people, we deserve what we asked for today. Guilty, guilty,
Somebody
guilty.
asked if my logo was
Guilty,
colors were
guilty,
inspired by
guilty.
Were they?
But I want to remind everybody that we got to continue to be out here on Instagram, pushing legislative changes for our community, uplifting our people and our organizations that's out here. We got plenty of organizations that's ready to step up to the plate and police our community. We don't need these motherfuckers. Excuse my language. We got CPAC. We got Twin City Justice for Jamar Clark. We got Family Support Families Against Police Violence. People like the Armstrong right here, Move for Justice. We have here in Minnesota. We have so many organizations out here, youth organizations as well. We gotta continue to uplift our justice system to make the changes that we need in our community. We gotta uplift our brothers that's in the legislature. John Thompson. Anybody know him?
Should we do that with the
We
backdrop?
need to continue to uplift these brothers, man, and each one teach one. We need to each one teach one. If y'all don't know, man,
I'm not trying to lie.
I encourage everybody to look at these bills, man. We got here in Minnesota, we got 9 bills out here that we're trying to push. We got to continue to push. I don't know if y'all know, but if y'all get ticketed for protesting, they're gonna take away your benefits out here too. So we need to make sure that we stay focused on these bills that's out here that they're trying to slide underneath our noses as well. I'm not gonna say too much power to the people. I love my brothers and sisters, my community. I'm so happy, but again, this is just a small minor win for us. Justice for George Floyd, justice for our stolen lives, and then yeah, man, we gotta reopen all these cases. We need all these cases reopened. All of these cases reopened. From the Breonna Taylors, from Taylor Brown, Kobe Heisler, Tamir Rice,
I don't think anyone
Walter Booker Collins. We can keep on going, but we gotta keep on saying the names, not let these people die.
I
Our
thought we
brothers
were
and
going to
sisters
get
die in
some
vain.
bullshit in the middle
So
ground.
all power to the people,
I thought
uplift our
manslaughter.
community, uplift our organizations,
something
that's how
like
we're
here's a
pushing the
bone.
change for our people. Black Lives Matter
can't
to
give
the
you
city,
anything.
Black Lives Matter Minnesota, Black Lives Matter
motherfucking terrorists.
Please
All three.
connect with some of those organizations
argument
and figure out what you
Right
can
or
do
wrong.
to help our brothers and sisters out here.
I was going by
I
what,
love you.
what I was
Cortez
seeing
Rice.
by the state statute side. But again, I wasn't for it. I couldn't watch all of that.
This is my point,
That
and this
was
is
the
why we
problem.
have 12
That's it.
and that's what the fucker was being guilty. No, and I appreciate that. That's why I'm not giving you any.
Assalamu alaikum,
back
everybody.
or
My name is
you're around
Abdul
for a while.
Rahim. I'm from Canada, Minnesota.
You'll know me
And
a lot better.
really want to commemorate this night that this is the night that we all were thinking about for a very, very long time. And there was a lot of work that was put in to this night here tonight. But what got us to this night was not the politicians. What got us to this night was not the prosecutors. It was not the system. It was the people that got us to this moment. And I want to take a moment to just commemorate what the people actually had to go through to get us to this point. After George Floyd was lynched in front of all of us, in front of the cameras for the world to see, Mike Freeman came out and said that he did not think that there were going to be any charges, but that there was enough there to bring forth any charges. But the people came out, and the people demanded for charges to be brought forth. But before even that, the officers were not even arrested. They were roaming the streets. And the people demanded for all officers to be arrested. And then they were arrested. And yet we did not get any charges whatsoever. And then finally we got some bogus charges. And then the people demanded for the charges to be upgraded because we knew the charges were BS. We demanded for somebody else other than Mike Freeman to take the case. Then Attorney General Keith Ellison took the case and upgraded the charges. But it took a lot of different things to happen for us to get some charges brought forth. And then once the charges were brought forth, they did not want a jury of peers of George Floyd to prosecute, to be the jury of the case.
Why not?
They wanted people that look like Derek Chauvin, that maybe carry the same values as Derek Chauvin, to carry and become juries of the case. And they were trying to take the case away and out of Hennepin County and take it to an outside jurisdiction. But he died in Hennepin County.
That's right.
And people in Hennepin County should be the ones that get to determine the fate of Derek Chauvin. But the people make that happen.
That's right.
And we fought for those things to happen. And then finally, they said, you know what? The case could stay in Hennepin County. Right? But then again, they let the officers go, even though Derek Chauvin was a fight risk, heading out to, I think it was to Florida or Mexico or whatever the case is. Right? But yet, all those things, say that again, buddy? And they wanted to try it all together. But then that didn't happen. But all those things happened because of the people. And the people took to the streets. And that was a testament to what we all can do. But unfortunately, Unfortunately, while the fight continued to happen, we lost many people
Yes, we did.
during that time frame. From Dulal Eid to now Dante Wright and so many others. And that tells you that while the whole world was watching, the system was continuing to fail us.
That's right.
And we have to admit to ourselves, we can't lie to ourselves. We know that the system has deep roots in white supremacy, and it was never designed for us to win.
That's right.
So, in order for us to dismantle the system, we have to be more than just not racist. We have to be anti-racist.
Yeah.
We have to stand in the face of white supremacy. You know, a couple weeks ago, that there was a bill that was put forward to say that, hey, if you are a part of white supremacist groups, or you are affiliated in any way, you cannot become a police officer. And it came down to a party line vote, where the Republicans said, no, we can't do that. And the reasoning was because it was unconstitutional. Since when was saying no to hate unconstitutional?
That's right.
Since when saying, hey, we don't want people that are against black lives unconstitutional?
That's right.
That is ridiculous.
It is.
And this is why we must continue to fight tooth and nail. And I really want to shout out Brother Cortez and so many other brothers here as well that put their bodies, and sisters that put their bodies on the line for us.
Yes.
Right? Getting hit with rubber bullets just so that we can exercise our voices.
Yes.
Just for us to say, stop killing black people.
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 And today in Minnesota, we got a verdict
Yes.
that said that it was not okay to kill a black man.
Yeah.
Today in Minnesota, a jury of George Floyd's peers said enough is enough. A jury of George Floyd's peers said we will not stand for this.
Yes.
But we must not get complacent in this moment. Yes, we saw a glimpse of accountability, because to me, that is still not justice. It is still not justice. Justice would have been if George Floyd was still here with us. That would have been justice. But today what we saw was accountability. We just saw a little bit of accountability. Today what we got was half justice.
So
And we still got 4
the
other
question
officers
is,
to go.
it's just one.
We got the
simple
3 that were there on the scene,
terrified.
as well as Kimberly Potter. And we need to push for Kimberly Potter charges to be upgraded to murder charges.
People were
We need to
locking up
get murder
those that-
charges.
Like, I don't think
I'm going to ask a very
a lot of
honest
people that
question.
thought,
Where are the Ohio troopers at?
I'm making a.
Where are the Nebraska troopers
Urban
at?
Dance.
Where are the Missouri troopers at?
Did you, in your heart of hearts, think that's what we were?
All they had to do was give us justice.
And I was
All they have to
comforted
do
because I
is
needed
give us
to- I needed
accountability.
to-
But instead of giving us accountability,
So, yeah,
they
so
are
I-
willing
I
to
personally
spend
believe
millions
that.
and
And I
millions
talked
of
to
dollars
people in
to
the
silence us.
last
Millions of dollars to
People are a little
occupy
anxious.
us. Millions of dollars that's coming from our
I
money,
just
from
personally-
our taxpaying
I
dollars
personally
to
believe
oppress
that
us,
this case
to tear
is
gas.
not unique. I'm
Just
sorry, it is unique. It is unique. It's
To
unique in
silence.
so many fashions that
all because they don't just want to give us some accountability. They don't want to give us justice.
very minimal.
Really?
Yeah, because
So
I
now,
I feel
tonight,
like
yes, we got a little bit of
the jury, no
accountability.
matter where they
And the door is cracked.
are still gonna
But
live.
it is up to us to open that
So
door
they have to
fully
take it
wide
back.
open. It is up to us to demand for
absolutely
all of the cases to be reopened. And it is up to us to make sure that families don't have to come out here and re-traumatize themselves just so we can get their voices heard. Just so they can say, hey, I want some accountability. Because we know they will never ever get justice.
I just have gray hair.
They will never ever get justice.
But
But it is up
no,
to
but
us to
like
hold
that, and I
these
also
officials
really felt
accountable,
that
to hold the
prosecution
police
did a great
accountable,
job, and
to hold the system accountable, because it's the city of
there was another
Minneapolis,
police
the
officer
state of
that came and
Minnesota,
said,
and the
"No,
United
we
States
did
that's
fine.
guilty,
We do that all the time. Which, by the way, they could have
along with Derek Chauvin. And I was happy
Absolutely.
that Derek Chauvin got guilty charges, but I'm not going to lie to you, I was a little sad
they
as
fed him
well.
out to the wolves.
The reason why I was sad is because
Breaking.
we were celebrating something that should have been known.
The way the blue line would have broken.
You know what I'm saying? And it's really, really beneficial to me personally because that tells us that we got so much work left to do. And yes, we're going to celebrate tonight, but tomorrow we're going to roll our sleeves and get back right to work.
But
thank you.
I was more concerned about a potential mix.
And that's what I can invite.
Second-degree murder, but
but
the other ones, you know.
I don't even have words to
but
describe
I
the
felt
Kimberly Armstrong.
today that we're going to get
come
guilty.
up, the Kimberly Armstrong,
And
civil rights attorney, as well as the
I thought it was
president
the
of the
best
Racial
thing that we
Justice
could get, and
Network.
I didn't think it was coming. I really did. In my heart of hearts,
But I think the reason why people didn't think is because police officers are hard to charge. If it's any of us, I
let's
don't
give
think
it up
you
for
needed any
Muhammad.
more evidence.
one juror.
Come on, y'all. We can do better than that. We're standing out here in the cold.
One out of 12.
After what happened today, letting them know that,
That's
as
why-
Muhammad
what is the
said,
other
we're
guy?
not
Walter-
satisfied.
The one who
A
killed
20-year-old
Scott in
young black
1990.
man was
They got a hung jury.
unnecessarily killed just a
so
week
They had to get
ago.
a federal charge.
As a mother, I am mad as hell. I have
That's
a son who is
insane.
16 years old. I
You
don't
wanna
even
follow
want
up
him
or
to
two?
get his driver's license
And I'm not sure.
because I
wanna
don't
go home.
want
I'm freezing.
a crooked cop
So
trying to pull
one
my
of the things
son
that I noticed,
over
I've been doing this for a little while
for
now.
an air freshener hanging on his
There's not a lot of
mirror
elected
or
officials that are coming
expired
down to support the
tabs
cause.
in a pandemic or whatever fake excuse they come up
Do you
with
think that's okay?
to racially profile black
Maxine
bodies
Waters had to come before
and give
Angie
my
Bragg,
son the
Ilhan
treatment
Omar.
that
right?
far too
Where's,
many
Dean?
black men and
Where are
black
these
boys
guys?
receive.
And why
And
aren't they here?
increasingly, black women and black girls.
constituents.
Because we'll never forget what happened to
The question
Sandy
is, I don't believe that
and what they
showing up
did
is
to her
the same
just
as
for
them
speaking
doing
her
something about it.
truth
There's a step.
and calling for
All right, that's something.
accountability and watching
That's
people
what I
over
said.
in the first place.
But if they were working
So
on
like
a bill,
Muhammad, I do celebrate the fact that
If they were
finally
working on a
if
bill,
they-
they don't have to be
a
here because they're working
racist,
on making progress.
crooked
But
cop
they aren't. So we're
will be able to put on an orange jumpsuit
And it's
and
not
face
just-
some of the
it's not
same
this,
black
it's
men
also where's
that he
President
sent into the
Biden? Where's the government?
penitentiary. I would not want to be Derek Chauvin right about now.
It's not
That's
about
all I'm gonna say. I ain't even gonna go deeper than that.
It's about talking about this space
I mean,
in a
think
way
about that.
is
Then now that
very
is justice, in my
unity
opinion.
focused.
right.
That's why he was
Everything I
trying
heard
to
from
cut a
politicians
deal
so far, including Governor Walz,
with
is about
crooked and
security.
corrupt Mike
It's
Freeman, the
about
Hannibal County
rioters, it's
attorney,
about this.
But
we're
bringing
saying, I don't want to
troopers
serve
from
my
Ohio,
time in
Nebraska,
state prison.
who aren't
I'll
governed by
take
the
10 years
CRO.
on third-degree murder
They've been taking
in
people
federal
like us
prison
out.
Elected
because he
officials
don't
in
want to
these
face
countries
the
have to tell
black
the
men
hardest truth.
that he put in prison in the state of
They tell the
Minnesota.
hardest truth, they can win the hearts and minds.
Woo-hoo!
Because
I'm
even the
just
hardest
saying, when you
truth
really think about
can
it,
actually
he
help
in
us.
trouble.
But when you
He in
don't tell us the
trouble.
truth,
Seriously, he better hope they don't
lies tend
experiment
to keep
on his defense
people
theories.
away from moving. We can move from
I'm
truth.
just
If
gonna
you
leave
say,
it
listen,
right
I don't
there.
have
Only
the
God
answers.
knows it.
It's the truth. It's our
Only
truth.
God
I don't
knows
have the
it.
answers.
For real. It's
And
something
I
to think
don't
about.
know what they
But honestly, though, as Muhammad was saying, y'all,
But I'm
as much
frustrated,
as
and
these
I'm waking up, and I
politicians
don't
and
know
these
what to do.
elected
And I
officials
feel like many Minnesotans feel
want
this
to
way.
say,
And the whole world is
you know,
watching
we
us.
did
And
this,
we're
we
not
pat
like this in
ourselves on the
Minnesota.
back.
We're much better
There
than
was
you.
resistance
Tell the
at
truth. I'm
every
telling
hand,
you,
like
yes,
Muhammad
so
said.
it's that way.
If
They're
it
going to come
wasn't
back
for
out. They're
the
going to be like,
people
yeah, this is how
showing
it
up
feels
in a
too.
pandemic,
And then you
y'all,
guide them. You say,
we put that
that is the
event
moment
page
where we have
up
to ask
at
tough
2
questions.
o'clock in the morning
Tough conversations.
after George
not-
Floyd was killed.
See,
Hours
so this is
later,
Jason. He's been with
thousands
me
of people
as we've been-
showed up.
Day
And
one.
the
You know
people
about
who
what's
wouldn't leave their house because of a pandemic, who came
had this
out to
conversation
stand
every
up
night.
for George Floyd.
We watched.
And then we marched
What
together
are they called? The
from 38th
Operation
in
Safety
Chicago
Net.
to the 3rd
They're
precinct.
saying so many things.
And
about
just
what
like
is
what
going
happened
on.
out
I
here,
literally ended my
the
live
police
stream Thursday
responded
night.
with force.
Got
They
to
came out with
that corner. Look at my
flashbang
Twitter feed.
grenades,
Operation Safety Net said the
trying to
crowd's
tear gas
re-engaging,
people
getting
and
on the
trying
fence.
to use force
Literally,
in riot
there
gear
was
against
10
people who were
press
hurting,
members to
against
one
black
protester.
youth who were hurting.
It was over. It was
against
done.
people who
Everyone
were
was just
demanding
getting ready,
justice.
cleaned up, and leaving.
But you have
So
to
for me
understand, this
personally,
is
I
not
have
a
lost
new game.
confidence
No, it's not.
in Governor Tim Walz
Walz.
because he authorized
they've lost
Operation
narrative.
Safety Net.
Because they killed somebody.
And he
So
had
there
the
is a
nerve
sense
to
of
say
community
that
buildup
their use of
war
tear
over
gas
West.
and munitions and
And
projectiles and rubber bullets and
and
all
to
that has been
distract
judicious.
They
So I'm
want
like, you know what, Tim Walz, bring your ass out
this
here.
distraction.
And you let
This is
them
the oldest game
put
in-
all the
in
weapons
war-
that they
in
used on
war.
us on you, and then
give
you
your
still
enemy
tell the
something
people
for them
that
to-
their use was
Yes.
judicious.
Divide.
And
You
then
would be running like a little,
Right, so
I'm gonna
we
leave it
meetings. You know,
night
right?
one, I was here.
So the people in positions
I
of
heard about there
power
was some kids, and it was mainly
act
kids.
like
There was one
they
car
are
in
better
that corner
than
and another car.
all of us.
The road was still open.
They act
In
like
fact,
they
we
can
shut
use
down
their
the road
power
there.
to try to
And then there were
silence
not even
us.
25 kids here.
But us being out
most
here
of them were
in the
really
cold,
Yes.
after
Not
a victory,
properly
while
dressed
most
for
people have gone home and
Okay?
gone to
Then we
sleep,
see 9
shows
vehicles go in there.
that we will
They
not
go
give
in there,
up,
50
that we
officers,
will not
roughly
give
about
in,
maybe 70
that we are
officers
not
come out,
satisfied
and they start
with
lining up
manslaughter
25
charges
there,
against
25
Kim
there.
Potter,
They turn
that
the
we
lights
will
off,
go
and I
back
get on the phone with
to
the
the
mayor.
Washington County Attorney's house in Stillwater, Minnesota, again, like we just did last Saturday, to demand murder charges.
If you want to protect the building,
Because
wait
Kim
until somebody
Potter
approaches.
should not get a
And
slap
by
on
the
the
way, when I
wrist
was here,
for
not
taking
a
the life of a
single
young black
person was
man who
even near
should
the
still be
sidewalk.
alive.
No, it was
So
press.
we gotta
needed-
persevere,
they
y'all. I know we are tired.
This aggression.
I know many
And
of us,
then
I did not
as the
sleep
night
at all last night.
developed,
And
the
many of
audience
y'all
changed.
ain't slept
Yes.
for days.
From young
I know
people
we
who were
ain't
neighbors
eating right.
to people
I
who
know
were
we
rushing
can't
over
even
here.
keep a normal routine. I know my
stand
central
at
nervous system was way off. I had to go to
When I
an
was
event
standing here,
at George
in fact,
Floyd
I got
Square, and there were some monks who came, and they wound up doing a meditation,
Rubber round?
and
Or-
it
no,
helped
somebody just
reset my
tripped.
central
Oh,
nervous
And then
system.
I tripped and then
Because we're in the middle of a war zone,
just
and it's
watching
very
the whole
stressful.
episode
It
kinda
causes
unfold. And they
PTSD.
really
When
were
you
just
don't
like,
know, we out
this
here
scenario.
after their
Like,
bogus
this is
ass
where the
curfew.
action is. And then
At any point, they can come out
When
here
they
and
started
try to
this
snatch
aggression
and grab
is when
and
we
use
started to hear
all
about
the
it.
tactics that they've been using. But I'm just proud
So
of
the
y'all, and I
chaos
know,
that they
even though we
started
didn't know
just
Dante
literally
personally,
carried out.
I believe that he
And
is
then the
proud
two
of
nights, as you
us
said, the two
for
nights when they
continuing
didn't
to
do
stand
this
up for
approach,
him
nothing happened.
and making sure he is
Weird,
not
right?
forgotten
But what happened
when the
between those
national
two
and
nights?
international
You know,
media
that's the night
pack
I
up
brought
and
my
go
daughter
home.
here.
That we like,
Because
we
the
don't
night was
care
Friday
what
night.
is watching or they're not.
There's a lesson
We
that
are
needs to be learned
watching.
here that you
We
don't get
live
from the
here.
screen.
We demand justice. And we
Listen to
get
that,
justice.
right? Listen to
Justice
people
for Dante
that
Wright.
need to know what's going on. My daughter, she's 16. 15 feet away, we're getting flashbangs. For what?
Someone cut the gate, and no one even entered. No, I'm not saying that the gate should have been cut. No one entered, and they let him cut it, let him pull it open, and waited.
Of this system. Let's talk about that
Like you
one
said,
time.
it was almost like they were waiting so they could have an
This is
excuse.
the oldest game.
Hey.
And think about it. If you're at home,
Yeah.
You know, I came down here today because
you
the more I
invite
thought
yourself
about it,
into these
and the more I
spaces.
looked at this with Dante Wright, I came here the other night to stop through, but I flew down here
And if you show them the
because
police
I
are
did 32 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit.
then yeah.
I just came home. My name is Darrell Jones. You Google that. I did 35 total. So you all are in prison right now and don't even know it. At least I knew it when I was in.
Wednesday night when the lady
Don't
got
be
tackled
concerned
over there in the
with that. That's
bathroom,
what they do
they
to us
live in
doing.
that building.
It's the same
But I
thing.
think
This
found
is
out
what
that
they
maybe
do
she
to us
didn't,
in
but
the
it didn't
joint.
matter. The point is
Well,
just
and
the
the guy
fact
came out.
keeping us
Yeah, there's a
going.
guy that came out was
And
drinking a
nobody out
beer
here
and
is
standing
thinking
behind us.
about
He's like,
this,
"What's
so
going
why
on?
y'all out here wilding
Why are they
out?
so far down here?" Then they tackle
All
him.
of us in the system, how many
So I
murders
think-
we
I
hearing
think
in the prison?
eventually
You ain't
the
hearing
truth
that.
will come out.
So we
But
click up, white,
I
black,
think
all
we
that,
also have
mob
to
dudes,
learn
all
ways,
of
and
us.
that's why a lot of
We
our
click
actions
up. I'm
didn't
gonna do
actually
from
happen.
Chicago.
We try to
I'm
bring
telling you,
people out to
right?
other
I'm here in
things.
Boston,
We
and my
want to
people.
focus on
We click
not
up.
just here, because if we focus on
You
here,
have
now
no
we're
choice
gonna-
but to click.
We're gonna give
You
people
got
more
so
chances
many
to
movies.
be at this
I was
point. What are you
thinking in
doing
the
here?
joint,
You're just
like,
literally
wow,
out of
which
it.
slogan
Yeah.
do you staying following
We
with
had
people?
different actions
Right?
downtown
We staying
Minneapolis.
defund the police. I'm gonna hit y'all. put
Are
up
you
on
familiar
game.
with like
'Cause
First
this is all
Amendment
game.
auditors,
So I'm
cop
gonna give you good
watchers?
game.
Yeah.
How
Okay,
you
so
defunding
I'm one of
somebody
those. So
who is working
we've been on
overtime,
the
getting more money we
forefront
ever got all across the country.
of holding them
That means more
accountable
police
for a
have to
long
stay
time.
overtime to keep the numbers up.
Because
So
we're
they
trying
really
to
get
prevent
paid.
this, right?
You want to defund
The
them?
problem is
Put
they
you
look
up
at us
on
as a
how you
nuisance because
defund
we
them.
have no backing. We can't find
When
an
it
attorney
comes
when we get
in
messed
any
up, right?
state,
First thing they do
when
is,
they
"What
get up, they
ethnicity are you?"
say,
Well, you didn't get a civil
in
rights
behalf
violation.
of the Commonwealth,
The problem with that is
in behalf
we're taking
of
the
the
rounds
Commonwealth.
like everybody else.
That means
we're
that's your
standing
credit
here.
card.
In fact, when they
now,
gave
if I go
us
take
the
my man's credit
dispersal
card
order,
and just go use that
we
and
stepped in
find
front
out,
of the crowd.
You're gonna be like, nah, bro, I didn't tell you to
Honestly,
use that credit card
again,
because you
what
know
are
the
we saying?
PIN
It's
number.
the physical
They
embodiment
hip
of
to
First
y'all's
Amendment
PIN number.
rather than me. Right.
They know how to get
We're
into your
here
account.
tell us
not
leave,
paying
who's
attention.
here to tell
You ain't
the
been
world what's
gone long
happening?
enough. You ain't
So
felt
step
enough.
forward.
You just
It's
moving,
a thing.
independently
But
moving,
that's
but
the
you
problem
ain't feeling
now
your
is that
movement.
they actually
You gotta feel your movement. When I'm telling you
No,
about what they
there,
do
there's a,
to you,
we shouldn't have to have a restraining order.
When they
We have
get
the
up and
First
say,
Amendment.
Most
Congo
succinct
versus
way of
Darrell
putting it,
Jones.
right? Like, You tried
I've
to
been with
think of a better way to
everybody.
say it, but you can't, can you?
My man Sean Ellis right now, we on the Netflix.
That's why this, like, this is
that
an
trial
interview, but
court
it's really not.
is,
This
my
is just
man. That is the last part of the
we
Wake
also
Mind.
know that
We're doing them all over.
mess
We
it up in
gather,
politics.
you all didn't even see that
Yeah.
gather.
Yeah.
We had over 250
so
of
wonderful.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Central
You
Park
too.
Five, all of us. National exoneration, I'm on that list. Those of us they can't question. So I was sitting here saying, oh, I wish they would come over and rest this innocent man again.
Come on,
So
man.
we can talk about why.
Come on,
We
man.
can talk about you.
Hell yeah. Hey, guys.
So we only can do what we can do, right?
I went over there and chit-chatted them. I went over there and chit-chatted them.
Because they can't say it.
That's good.
In
We need to,
behalf
the more
of the Commonwealth,
we're live,
if
you know, there's
you
no
all were saying,
editing this.
not in my
We're not
name,
mainstream.
you'd be
We're not
taking the
lying.
power back to who
Like
you
we're telling
represent
him,
and
we're
just
down
saying,
here.
not my name.
When they said
If
disperse
all of this
media and
state
press,
was
we're
in
in front of
position
the
to be
crowd
saying
now.
one
Now
word,
you're turning
not
against
my name,
us.
do you all know what would happen? Then they would be in court saying,
And we
behalf
usually come,
of who?
well, we can have security come if we need to.
You would change
And we're
the
talking
system
people that
instantly right there by
took an
taking
oath.
your credit back.
That stand
Don't
by
be
their
played.
oath,
Wake up.
right?
How they
They
play
want to
me.
turn into something
And you
we
need
don't
to be hip to something else.
We want this, peace.
What happened to that white man in there? It was all white police that took me away.
No,
When
we-
you look me up, everything that could happen to a person happened
We
to me.
agree.
You know
we're
what
here
opened the
agreeing.
door for me to come home? For a white juror,
We don't want people to
and
die.
somebody give her back the love for that. She came forward and she said, oh, you know what, 32 years ago,
If the cops see a person
she
with a
didn't want to
camera
die,
in their
but she
hand,
died
they
as
shouldn't be
soon as I came
tackling
out.
them.
She said, you know what I
They shouldn't be
did?
giving us
Not
dispersal
her.
orders. We've seen what happened
Three
in Waco.
white
Oh, wait,
men
we really
all
didn't,
white
right?
dudes.
Why?
I
Because they
remember
pushed
85
media back.
going to joint. I was 18 or 50 fucking four. Keep game. That's my whole life.
But we need to gain the trust of
You
the
understand that? I
communities
don't
too.
get that back. No matter how much bread they give me, I don't get that back.
Because if we
When I
don't,
was in
we
that
can't get
joint,
in there to show, like we were talking
I
about
lost my
yesterday, right?
grandmother that raised me,
With the homelessness.
my brother,
the one
my
officer that
son,
we
not
need that to
counting
be
my
shown.
cousin.
There's one,
But the issue
right?
was,
One that
I
cares,
never got to say
in it for the
goodbye
right
to them.
reason.
They just knocked on my door like knock knock. We lost another one. Going off the way. I didn't go nowhere. I didn't share nothing.
This is what we
Let
need
them
to have.
play you out of what you can do.
That's why there's
I
no
was in a
cops there
box.
and it's National
A
Guard.
lot of that time
They won't
in that
engage.
box in segregation.
They won't.
Because I was doing this in jail. I won a United
They're
Nations
with us.
award.
They're for
When I
this.
came out in Massachusetts, I worked for the mayor who just went to the White House. You understand that? So they said, yo, that dude knows. I educated myself. In fact, I learned the law so much I got more people out of jail before I could get myself out. You understand that? I peeped their game. You heard? So I know their laws. That's what you want to be hip to. That's what you better teach your kids. You understand that? Our brothers don't be knowing that. But you better get hip to your law. When you out here celebrating 4th of July, I'm not saying don't celebrate it because it's white and black and all that other constitution. We already know it comes from a racist agenda. We don't keep repeating the same thing. We know that. No. Use the statute at the bottom of it. Look at the bottom. When it starts telling you life, liberty, and the right to happiness, then you have a right. The pursuit of happiness, you have the right. So you claim that right. If we're marching all over the country like we're marching right now and they've seen us all over the world down about what they did to us, then they stole a right.
All right, guys, I'm
We didn't
getting
even tell them
tired.
that.
I'm freezing
We got every
cold.
scholar in the
It's
world
been a long
because they
week,
read a book.
but I gotta have you
okay?
check out this car.
Because
This
they read a
car
book
is
of
all
time
about
that I
love,
did, and you keep
pain,
calling
but there's no anger on this car. I got a bunch of pictures last night of this car. This car was downtown. This is an amazing car. He's been traveling the country with this car. So look at this car. The messages on this car of love. It's amazing. All right, guys. I'm signing off out here at a protest that should have happened and been going on without them making it worse. I'm freezing. I'm calling it a night. I'm super tired. Hopefully I don't have to cover these anymore. I don't want to have to in Minnesota. It's stressful on all of us. Thank you for tuning in. Jason with Minnesota News Now out.